Hey there, Meeple peoples. It's Mark from the Meeple Society again, and together with Jesse, Katie, and Greg, I'd like to thank you for skipping past that investment opportunity in a company that sells ransomed meat to vegans and instead choosing the one for 5 things.
5 things.
So today on 5 things, we've decided to group think again, but today it's even more special than the last time because we're giving everyone a chance to try that angry Mark ranty mindset on for size and give it a nice walk down the runway. And maybe the other 3 will even find that it's actually pretty comfortable and to their liking, kind of like a nice warm holiday sweater made of 60% wool and 40% righteous indignation. Like many board game reviewers, sometimes we here at the Meeple Society are accused of having that every game is special mentality, where there are no bad games, and even the ones that don't measure up they're not really bad. They're just, they're still worthwhile and even special. I know for a fact that this happens because more often than not, I'm the one who makes those accusations. Well, we're here to prove today that that's not the case. Not every game is special to all of us, and we think that certain ones look much better inside the fireplace rather than being played in front of it. So we're going to go listicle again to show you 5 games that we have played that we would least like to play again. Who would like to start? I'm excited.
I'll start.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, I'd like to begin my list by saying that usually I'm not the kind of person to quickly write off a game. If the game's rules are like poorly written, I'll want to research it online. If I feel like a mechanic is broken, I'll make up a house rule to fix it and work around it. This hobby is not a cheap one. And I hate feeling like I've wasted money. So if the game has great art, really good components, or a theme that I really, really like, but it's riddled with red flags that other gamers would call it quits over pretty fast. Mm-hmm. I will probably hang on and insist that the game might just be misunderstood and that I can fix it. My number 5 is a bit different from the rest of my list, though, as it didn't need to be fixed at all, but the expansions made it even better. So my number 5, all on its own, Champions of Midgard from Grey Fox Games is a fantastic board game, but the expansions, especially the Valhalla expansion, make the game so much better that, if given the chance, I do not want to play this game ever again without the expansions.
Is anybody else watching Mark's face?
Also, the Valkyries give me the extra dice, which means that I have more of a chance to saddle my husband with shame.
Yeah, I thought his hat was gonna blow off the second.
No. I can get this one. I'm not. Yes, would I play Champions of Midgard without the expansions currently? But no, I would actually much rather play it with the expansions. So,
ignoring red flags is how our marriage has probably progressed. So,
I would say that both me and Katie are in your boat, Jess. We don't want to play the base game.
Yeah.
This made my short list. Play it with the expansions.
Yes. Yeah, this made my short list on its own. Because I do not enjoy the game on its own, but with the expansions, it definitely adds.
I love the game on its own. I just
fixed it.
The expansions make it even better. But that's okay. I channel my inner Mark for the next couple, but it was difficult.
Yep.
Okay. I'll go next. We can go the whole boy girl thing and let Mark go last since it's his segment here.
Yes.
Okay. My 5 list, I'll have to say first, is that I don't ever want to play these games again. Okay. I just
Did not enjoy
Did
them.
not enjoy my gameplay.
Yes.
So the first one is a Jonathan Gilmore Isaac Vega game from Plaid Hat, and this is Dead of Winter. But not just the base game, it's Warring Colonies expansion.
Warring, yeah.
It may have been the people that we played with.
Although these people were our best friends.
Yeah,
we've known
our
these people
longest
for
friends.
25 years.
Yeah, that we've known forever.
That being said,
But
we've never played the base game.
We've never played the base game. We've only played it with this expansion. It was 11 people because this plays 4 to 11 with this expansion.
10 people. There's only 10 of us at the cabin that weekend.
10 of us.
Unless he's counting the dog.
But the experience was absolutely horrible. There was so much arguing and hatred in this room.
There was a lot
because it's Warring Colonies.
Yeah.
Once 5 people are one colony, the other 5 the other colonies, and you're going back and forth. People are going to die. People are going to steal things, and I understood that. And I hate those types of games. But me and Katie through the whole game were just sitting there like, going, "Yeah, that's going to happen."
Is this how this how this game really plays?
I thought I thought it was going to have. We were going to have a riot, a literal riot between everybody. It was just the worst gaming experience I've ever had,
and with people we absolutely adore.
Yeah, love these people to death.
Love these people
to death. Die for these people, but not this game. No, I have no wants at all to ever play this game, and it may have tainted me ever playing Dead of Winter. Period.
And I've heard great things about the base game of Dead of Winter, and I've always wanted to try it because I've heard it is a very good game. They only picked this expansion up because it played 10 people. So, and that's how many we had going to the cabin. So it was perfect. But yeah, the whole team against team, it turned it from a cooperative game with everybody having their own agenda to 2 teams against each other.
And when we say against each other, they meant
each other.
I thought there was really going to be punches thrown.
It was rough.
It was getting bad.
We have Dead of Winter, so if you guys ever wanted to play the base game, we do have it. But
as long as it's not
kind of on the list.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, my number 5 is I just seen this. I'm like, what? My number 5 is only on the list because we have picked up its predecessor, which is 100 times better.
Okay.
So I never want to pull out Age of Industry again because now we have Brass Birmingham. So, and Age of Industry is a good game. This is a Martin Wallace game. It was originally published by Tree Frog Games in 2010, but now we have Brass Birmingham, which was published in 2018, and is just by far, I feel, a better game.
Age of Industry is kind of like the father to, or uncle, I guess, of Brass Birmingham, because it's more like Brass Lancaster.
Yes, it is like more like well, that's just it. Age of Industry, if you remember correctly, had 2 sides to the board. One had ports, one did not.
So it's both games.
Brass Lancaster has ports, Brass Birmingham does not.
And I feel her on this now. I really love the game. But
yes. Why am I going to go back to Age of Industry with its poor artwork, and when I can have Brass Lancaster or Brass Birmingham with its beautiful artwork, although darker theme,
which she says poor artwork.
It was
that's not doing it justice, because holy cow, this artwork is really, really bad. If you ever get a chance, pull up Age of Industry and look at this artwork and you'll be like, what?
Yeah, it was rough. So, but anyway, nothing against the game itself, just the fact that why pull out the predecessor or the original when I can have its much nicer looking predecessor. So
unless of course it's Bruges. You don't want to play Hamburg, you want to play Bruges. Anyway, so Mark.
Good point.
I would say that I would feel bad because I'm like really throwing the ire on a lot of these games here, but I'm gonna
the rest get ugly. This was just a nice one.
I'm gonna suck it up here. All right. So the game that I selected is actually a game that is actually pretty hard to find now. It's called Telling Lies. but I'm kind of also including a lot of the games that kind of fit that same sort of theme. And that's why I said there may be some crossover. So Telling Lives, I played enough of these type of games, but the one I remember most was this one, which I picked up kind of on a lark after I graduated high school. And it's called Telling Lies, and which is essentially, it's a card game that consists of the judge reads a card aloud that presents a moral conundrum. And about half the time, there's a spicy or suggested overtone. If it's your turn, you answer the question. Then others guess whether the card you're holding says whether you are telling the truth or lying. So it's kind of like the board game equivalent of Never Would I Ever. It is an absolutely turgid game whose entire function is to be an icebreaker among friends and actually succeeds in making things a lot more awkward instead. So Telling Lies is kind of one of those party games that rightfully should be lumped in to the bin with its hideous chud siblings like Cards Against Humanity. I'll even throw Apples to Apples in there, or I made a card game based off the dry wit humor in my webcomic. Insert your favorite webcomic based game here. I have no idea how these sorts of party games ever became the poster children for adult games. I don't get it. I don't get why people play these, because let's be honest, there are some people that are starved for fun and wouldn't know it if it went at their face with a carrot grater. But I'm saying that's why some of these games sell. I mean, I don't get the fascination with these type of games in the first place and how they consistently manage to get published, because it's like 2022. Why do people still think adult board games have to be like the tee-hee drunken equivalent of somebody, playing something at a frat house because the Wi-Fi is out and the cell coverage is crap? You can have raciness, mature intrigue, and adult themes in a story without it turning out to be some dumb, buffoonish party game. And trust me, Telling Lies and most of its ilk are dumb, buffoonish party games. So Telling Lies is my number 5.
Yeah. Apples to Apples was on my short list. That whole mechanism I don't particularly care for. So the whole party list was on my short list.
Yep.
I just don't even discuss those games.
So maybe, you know what? Maybe there will be no crossover whatsoever, because I figured Cards Against Humanity would probably hit you guys' short list if nothing else.
Yes, it did hit my short list for sure.
It didn't hit my list because I refuse it even exists.
You don't call it. You think you're one of those people who's like, this is not a game.
Yeah, I played it once.
Exactly.
We've played Cards Against Humanity a couple times, and the first time it was funny. If in the right company, it works. But I got by the second play of it, it was like, okay, this is kind of dumb. So
I've never played it. I've never played any of those types of games before, unfortunately. So I don't know. I don't have an opinion.
You're not missing anything.
No, you're not missing anything.
Okay, number 4.
For my number 4, I was really excited to play my 4th game on this list, Evolution, the beginning from North Star Game Studio. It's beautifully illustrated with colorful and unique takes on dinosaurs and proto-mammals and other early life. I think I went into this game with my expectations set too high, but I actually found the game's mechanics and the pacing infuriatingly boring. I just couldn't get into it. I really don't have too much to say about it because I played it once. It's been a while and I was just meh. But I found it boring. I found the instructions kind of confusing, but overall it was just meh.
Nope.
We just picked this up on a sale from Target.
We didn't pick up the beginnings, though. We picked up straight Evolution.
Oh,
but still, I don't know if they
we're
play
still
the
up
same
there.
or not. We're up in the air.
I don't know if
whether or not
it's
we're
going to stay in
keep
our
it.
collection or if it'll go over into our travel collection or not.
So
It's still sitting on our shelf waiting for our decision.
indecision still. So yeah, I could see that
Yeah,
though. I could see where.
And this was actually supposed to be kind of a more simpler intro to Evolution.
Mm.
The beginning was.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't much. It's a
Too simple.
okay. No, I'm not even going to say it's too simple. Okay, I want you to look at this. This is a dinosaur-based game that Jesse refuses to play.
Oh,
Right?
don't think that didn't catch my
Yeah, I was
attention.
going to say that's
So-
that is damning. That is damning on its own.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, no, we didn't much care for the rules. We may pull it out again and try it at some
Yeah.
point, but it's.
I think that's what we're going to do with the actual game of evolution is
Yeah.
try it again and see. Did it
I'd
change
like to
any?
try it at a higher player count to see
Yeah.
if it changes anything over
Maybe
2
we
players.
can hook up and actually play the big game of it.
Yeah.
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 Okay. So my number 4 is a game we have actually had in our collection for a long time.
We
and
did.
we put it on one of our game challenges.
Yep.
And by the 4th play, we were done with it.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
I mean, this is a huge game in this industry. Everybody seems to like this. We're just done with it. We don't want
Yeah.
it. And that is from Plaid Hat Games, Mice and Mystics.
Oh yeah.
This is, it's a cute little game of you're a little mouse. You've been turned into a little mouse and you're trying to save the king and everything. But
The artwork is phenomenal.
yeah, the components
The
are
components are
phenomenal.
great.
The gameplay is just so
It's
same. It's like,
repetitive.
okay, I'm gonna go this way.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a cockroach. I'm gonna battle. Let me roll. Oh, nope, he steals a piece of my cheese. Next turn.
It's-
Oh, he attacked me. Oh, he gets another piece of my cheese.
Yeah.
I'm knocked out. So y'all gonna have to go to the next board and find me and capture me again. It just
It was
I think
painful.
our 4th or 5th play of this, right in the middle of the game, we both looked at each other and was like, are you tired of this game? And
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I
Yeah.
thought you really liked this game, so I didn't say anything. Katie looked at me like put the same thing. I was like, yeah, I thought the same thing about you.
Oh,
yeah,
it was
I have
painful.
No need to ever play this game again.
We had an expansion we had never even opened. We were trying to
Yeah.
get through the base game.
Mhm.
So we can play
And the expansion got sold. The base game is currently sitting in the other room, but man, I don't know if I want to have to try and figure out the rules to teach it to somebody just so they can play it
Mhm.
because I
This was
don't
one of those
like
games
it
that-
that much.
We would play it and it would sit, and then when we get it back out again, we'd have to relearn
relearn
the
it.
rules again to it. So it wasn't something that was sticking in our heads.
Yeah,
And
this one may end up on the sale pile because
Yeah.
I don't even know if I want to keep it in the other room. It's just that it sits at that point for us.
Wow.
Yeah.
so Mice and Mystics is my number 4.
My number 4. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
My number 4 is Scotland Yard.
Mm.
And it is not just Scotland. It's all of those hidden movement types of games where one person is hidden and everybody else is trying to find him. Maybe it's not even so much the game, it's the mechanism I don't like. And this is just the persona. This is yeah. I have never cared for Scotland Yard. I am not good at it. I don't like hidden movement games. Simple as that.
Well, the only ones she's played is Scotland Yard
And Spectre Ops. And
She
I
didn't like either one of
Didn't
them.
care for that one either. But this one just hit the list
But I
because
think
I've played
Letters
it
from
more.
Whitechapel is like this.
Yes,
And
you're
that's the
correct.
And
exact
so
reason why
is
we've not bought it.
Fury of Dracula.
Yeah.
The
Mhm.
Fury of Dracula actually attacks people too. So,
Mhm.
if I'm not
That sounds
mistaken.
even like less fun. Not only are you hidden, but you're attacking me from nowhere. Okay, that sounds great.
You gotta find him and take him out.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I just like I said, this was first published in 82. It has had a number of reprintings. It is a very popular game. I don't like it. Simple as that. I don't like the mechanism. I don't want to play it again. So I don't know. But that's Scotland Yard.
I like the game.
Good for you. You and Justin can play it. You're good. Too bad it takes 3 people.
All righty. My number 4 is a game that I refer to as Meme the Game, otherwise known as Smash Up. So we played this before, and it was like kind of early in our joint board gaming experience before I felt like we really had a good handle on what was an enjoyable game and what was simply flat garbage that was a bad excuse not to watch TV. So I played this and I really wasn't moved by the card play or the whole capture the base bits. And I thought, you know what? It's nowhere near as good as Kingsburg or even Castle Panic, but this is early on. So I'm like, you know what? No one died while we were playing the game, so it's probably okay. So as time has gone on and I've gotten like the benefit of experience and hindsight, Smash Up has dropped like lower and lower on my list. I mean, this game already fits so much of my criteria for what I consider a bland experience in the first place. There's no board. It's just a bunch of cards. There's dozens of themed expansions that are still more cards. There's kind of a take that inherently couched into the mechanics. But the topping on this moribund Sunday is the whole let's embrace everything the internet overblows theming of the factions. Zombies? Sure. Pirates? Absolutely. Ninjas? You bet. Bears? Why not? Steampunk princesses, cats, we can go on and on and on. I'm sure sooner or later the bacon and TikTok personalities expansions will be out too. Oh, and look, now they've sold out to Disney because adding another Marvel, Star Wars, and Disney theme expansion always makes a game better. Look.
Yep.
This is my sarcasm face. I bought the game for my wife because when she says, you know, she wants something for her birthday, I'm too well trained to sit there and go, wow, really? You know, but that probably means that I will be playing Smash Up again. Almost certainly. Will I
Probably tonight.
Begrudgingly.
will I look forward to it? Probably much the same way people look forward to being attacked by yipping chihuahuas.
What?
So that's
Katie.
That's number 4, Smash Up.
Yeah, Katie's in the same boat with you.
Yep.
I actually like the game.
I'll play it, but I'm no good at it. All I can do is throw monkey wrenches.
Yeah,
at
our
people
son and his daughter-in-law really like the game
Yeah.
too.
Nope.
So
Well, and
Jess,
what's
if you ever want to play it, we'll get together with them and we'll just play a big 4-player.
there you
game.
go. And Mark and I'll go do something else.
You can go over and play
You
some
just,
other games.
you just wait.
Well, and that's just we have another game that's the exact same mechanism, but it takes the cards out of it. Crap, what's that called?
I don't know.
I don't know. We have another one. It was early on in our collection, and granted we haven't played it in probably 7 or 8 years now, so who knows? But Dark Minions, it's right there. I can see it from where I'm sitting, and I liked that one. I don't know if it's just the take that and the card play I don't like. I don't know, but yeah, I completely agree with you. I did not think of this one, or it would have been on my list. So
Okay, number 3.
All right. So for my third pick, I hate coming for the little guy. And this game comes from a small publisher. I'd like to preface my third pick by saying that this could be one of those situations where it's not them, it could be me. With that being said, I received I forgot to look up how to pronounce this beforehand.
Fidelitas.
What?
Oh.
Fidelitas.
Fidelitas.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I received Fidelitas from Green Couch Games for free at one of our local Hoosier cons.
Mhm.
I've played the game once and I was not able to actually wrap my head around the gameplay.
Yeah.
No one else at the table seemed to have this problem, just me. But the game made me so angry that I have zero interest in playing it again. I mean, the only thing I really remember from it is just being absurdly, childishly frustrated that I could not figure out what the heck was happening. And I would go and I'd try to play my turn, and it would be like, no, you can't do that. So I mean, I've never had a moment of wanting to flip a table during a game like I did during that. I think we played it with you.
Mhm.
Yes, and
Yeah,
good.
I was just going to say, well, as the person sitting on the other side of that table, thank you for not flipping.
Mm.
So I mean, all I remember is just being like an angry kid, like an
Mhm.
angry toddler the whole time because I could not figure out how to play it. And I
Mhm.
normally don't get like that,
Mm-mm.
but
No, I remember this one confused me, but I think I did figure it out finally. But we've
I
only ever
remember
played it the
but I
one
don't
time.
remember
Yeah.
a lot about the game.
No,
So
we've only ever played it the one time, so our copy probably hasn't even been played.
mm-mm.
So
Still sitting there in the wrap.
probably, well, I don't think it still has the wrap on it, but yeah, I don't. If we've only played it once, and if we played it at your house, then
Yep.
we probably played your copy,
Yep.
and
Mhm.
we'll get to it when we get to the F's in our playthrough challenge.
So how's it pronounced, Jess?
okay. It's part of it comes from the word fidelity. Fidelitas.
Fidelitas.
Fidelitas. It's Latin.
Fidelitas.
It's Latin.
I'm normally better about like looking up how to pronounce things and how to pronounce, like individuals' last names and stuff.
Oh, I'm
For,
horrible at
for
doing
this.
that.
Yep.
But this
Yeah.
one apparently that's how little I liked it. I didn't even care about pronouncing it correctly. All right. Well,
All
that
right.
was my number 3.
Okay. My number 3 is a game from Upper Deck, and it's an IP that I really, really like. I mean, the IP is
Cult
one of my
classic.
all-time favorite games. And this, though, is Legendary Encounters Firefly.
Okay.
We played the whole
We have played the whole
suffered
thing.
through the entire
Yep.
game of all the different scenarios and everything. It just wasn't really a game, I don't think.
The whole game is set up to mimic the episodes in the show,
Right.
which they did. I think the artwork threw
Yeah,
it
the
off for me.
artwork
The
is
artwork is awful.
like a fifth grade
Oh
school
my
artwork.
gosh. I understand
Um,
they don't like using movie stills all the time, but I think I would have liked it
I
better
would have
with
liked the
movie
movie
stills.
stills on this because this
artwork is
artwork is
awful.
horrible because you couldn't really the only reason you could tell who it was is because their name was usually on the card.
Is that bad?
It was that bad.
Wow.
But I didn't really like the
It,
gameplay of
yeah,
it.
it
just
played
really
just like any other legendary, but it did have a couple twists to it. And I'll be honest, I don't even remember what the twists were now.
yeah,
It's been
neither
that
do I,
long.
though. But I mean, we've played that one and we've played Marvel Legendary. Those are the two legendaries we played, and I'll play Marvel Legendary anytime. But this,
Well, we've played the whole series now, and
it's a game
I think
that
I'm right there with you. I don't have
probably
any
end up
desire to pick
selling
it back
'cause
up.
I don't see it going in the other collection and doing anything. So
I don't know. Only because it's legendary would be the only reason, maybe.
yeah,
But
yeah.
we'll
So
discuss
that's
that later.
Legendary Encounters Firefly.
My number 3 is again kind of a series. Not so much the mechanism, but this is the Unlock series.
Okay.
I like escape rooms. I like the different types of escape. I am no good at them. That is the easiest way to say it. We have played several unlocks, and I get so frustrated that I cannot figure out what the designer was thinking. That they just frustrate me.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
So I can't, and this is the worst of them because I'm not looking at something trying to solve a puzzle. I'm looking for a little bitty number I have to combine to something else to get a clue. And maybe it's that my eyesight is bad. I can't see those little bitty numbers hidden in the mouse hole on the very bottom corner of the card. Sorry if that's a spoiler to somebody, but whatever. I just don't like them. I've like I said, we've played a few. And I can't even think of one we've even won in the 1 hour time limit it gives you.
Yeah.
Yep.
No,
I don't like them.
No, I would say I think I like the Unlock series better than the Exit series, but I think they both have
Yeah.
the kind of debilitating, you've got to think of what the designer was looking at.
Exactly.
That,
And that's where I have problems.
Mhm.
And then we also have
So-
the fact that, and I don't mean anything offensive by this, but a lot of these designers, at least these writers, English is not their first language. So I also
Mhm.
feel like some of our clues kind of get lost in translation, because English is not an easy word. We've got like 8 words for one thing, but each of those words have a slightly different nuance to it.
Mhm.
So,
Or one word with 3 spellings. And
Yes.
yeah,
Mhm.
so
but
I just sometimes I think the clues or the intentions behind it are
Yeah.
just way too out there, and it's frustrating.
Mhm.
well, we've played escape rooms, and I
Mhm.
like those maybe because there is a tactile feel to it. There is the paper feel,
Mhm.
paperwork. You're
Mhm.
physically looking for things. We've played Unlock. We've never played Exit, but we've played the Unlock, and the only benefit to Unlock is you can reset it and pass it on,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and they're cheap.
Yes.
Yep.
So for that reason, we actually have a whole set of them in the travel collection, and we've had kids pull it off the shelf and play it and enjoy them. More power to you. I don't like them. So that is my number 3.
Okay. Here's where it starts getting, here's
Uh-oh.
where people start going, what? My number 3 is Isle of Cats. You don't really have to go much further than the title of the game, Isle of Cats. You see the cute little pun? I love cats. Yeah, I see it too. And there are countries where people get filleted for coming up with titles like that. See, let me let you in on a secret. God made me allergic to cats because he loves me. I don't need them in my board games to make up for it or to try to defy God's omnipotent logic. Thank you very much. The whole crux of this game is to capture cats from the aforementioned isle in baskets, which I'm perfectly on board with. But then you bring them onto a ship, and somehow, against all logic and sense, you do not throw them overboard to let them float aimlessly away and eventually infest somewhere else, which, by the way, would also be a game I would be on board with. I might even consider buying it at that point. No. Instead, some designer or story themer or whoever had the bright idea that no. You should instead try to fill every flipping square inch of a ship headed out to sea with cats. Cause that's not a crew mutiny waiting to happen, Captain soon to be keel hauled. Who came up with this idea, and what padded cell have they taken up residence in so I can write them hate mail? And we won't even talk about the game itself, which is a mishmash of various mechanics. No big deal there, but it's a mishmash that was far better themed and far better handled in the far less heralded The Grand Carnival, a game which got little run because, it didn't have a cat theme. While somehow this feline themed monstrosity has something like 5 expansions and a roll and write coming out in 23. This tells you everything we need to know about society today. We are doomed. Look, I may not go so far as to say that I'd drink paint thinner before playing this game again, but I would actually probably think about it. And that's my number 3, Isle of Cats.
Somehow I'm not surprised this is on your list, but it is one of my favorites.
I
So
understand. There are a lot
you're
of people
wrong.
There are a lot of people who like this game, and
Yes.
you can all be wrong together.
I believe Jessica was looking for her rope to come down and string you up.
That's okay.
No, I was looking at the dog because the dog doesn't like it whenever he gets excited and raises
Oh.
his voice. I was watching the dog sitting there with her eyes twitching and her giant satellite dish ears twitching towards the door.
Oh goodness.
Okay, so
Ooh.
we're at
Number
number 2.
2.
Number 2.
All right, so for my number 2, my second pick is from another small publisher. This could be another instance of lofty expectations where there really should not have been any, but Trailer Park Wars from Gut Bustin' Games deserved better. The gameplay was
played this
actually
one.
fine.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we've actually played this.
Mhm.
The rules were pretty simple and it was quick to pick up. That wasn't a
Mhm.
problem. The art was like very similar to what you might find in like the comics section of the newspaper or like in a bathroom reader type thing.
Mhm.
So the art was really like spot on for the game. The thing that I could not forgive, and this sounds so dumb that I am kind of like embarrassed to admit this, but was that they used photographs of photographs for the mobile home cards.
Yes.
Mhm.
I feel like this
Okay.
was like a stylistic choice and probably not from like a low art budget on the publisher's part or whatever. But it broke the fourth wall for me, and not like in a Deadpool or Ferris Bueller kind of way. It just completely like just broke the theme for some reason. It went from being like, you know, this is thematic. Oh, look at these Uncle John bathroom reader, Far Side wannabe
Mhm.
comic art to, you
Mhm.
know, it took it from that to like a Mod Podge. Like,
Mhm.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Mm.
And again, you know, I mean, the game was, you know, wasn't going to win any prizes to begin with, but it had a theme. It's got a couple of expansions, and those photos of trailers just killed it
They're
for me. I don't know
horrid.
why, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I would have to agree with you there. I didn't even think about this one. We haven't played it in years, but yeah, I remember thinking
I
those
think it's
photos
pretty
were
thematic
awful.
though. 'Cause just the off the wall stuff of the people in
Yes.
this game is just ridiculous.
It is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
And the
I didn't think
flamingos.
anything about the actual photos of the trailers.
No, I remember thinking they were weird,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
I kind of brushed it off.
Well, I mean, you know, truth is, you know, weirder than fiction sometimes. And some of those
That's the
mobile
truth.
homes that they had photos of were
Hmm.
pretty wild. But
Yes.
it just, no, they should have, I don't know,
They should have had actual artwork.
sold a
Not
kidney or
photos.
something and had their artists draw the trailer for
Yep.
the mobile homes. It just, I don't know, it just killed it for
Yeah.
me. It
Mhm.
reminds me
Yeah.
of whenever I'm like messing with something online that's like obviously done by a novice or somebody who's an amateur, and suddenly, you know, I see that they've included in on their piece a stock photo that still says like istock.com written across it in their, what do you call it,
Watermark.
watermark.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's just, I don't know, it just completely just took it from a this is a professional product to this was cobbled together in Photoshop,
Mhm.
pirated Photoshop.
Yep.
Mhm.
I
Absolutely.
see that.
So that was my number 2, Trailer Park Wars.
My number 2, I see this so many places in people's top 20 games.
Hmm.
It is very well loved by almost everybody I ever see talk about a game. It's an Alexander Pfister from Lookout Games in 2014, and this is Oh My Goods.
Okay.
We have played this game multiple times, and every time we were so angry with the game by the time we got done with it. I don't know what people like about this game. It just did not
It never clicked for us.
click for us. I'm like, every time we play, we're just like, why do so many people? I mean, we got it because everybody raves about it. It's like, it's got to be a good game. It's a card game. What could go wrong?
Yep.
No,
Multi-use cards.
Mhm.
I mean, it has everything going for it. Multi-use cards. It Alexander Pfister.
Mhm.
Yeah, don't no.
Yeah, but yeah, we got done with the one game. Finally, like, no, we're not even going to
This
finish
was
this.
on our playthrough list last year or the year
Yeah,
before.
we even had an
last.
expansion with it.
Yep.
And was like, well, let's try it with the expansion. No, you can't play this expansion unless you have this expansion.
Which
It's
we
like,
didn't have.
that makes it even worse.
Wow.
You
Okay.
can't play an expansion unless you already have the other expansion.
That's-
Okay,
no.
we're getting rid of this. We don't like it. We're in such bad moods when we get done playing that game.
Yeah, the base
because it just
game,
could not click in our heads.
the expansion we got rid of.
Mhm.
The base game is sitting in the travel collection because it is a popular game and it is just a little bitty card. I mean, it's the same size as Fidelity.
Actually,
That
it's
other
smaller
game.
than that.
Yeah.
Fidelitas.
Fidelitas, whatever. Anyway,
But yeah,
it's
so that's my number 2. Oh my goods. So if we have a lot of viewers, I'll probably get hate mail from them, but
Not as much as me.
well, yeah,
You've got Alley Cats on your
Mhm.
list, yeah. All right, my number 2 is going to be short and quick. Oh my goods. We've
Well,
matched up
hey, there we go.
directly. So yeah, same reasons. I never, I couldn't, I could never make the chains work.
Mhm.
You're
Right.
supposed to be able to set up, ideally, you're setting up kind of a chain reaction type thing.
can have an engine going that you can
Yeah.
run constantly, but yeah, it just
we just never, it
Mm.
just never clicked. I understand it's a popular game. I get it. I
we would
never
just
got it.
just barely start getting some combos to maybe work sometimes, but not all the times.
And
And
the
then all of
game
a sudden
was
the
over.
game's over. So I'm going, wait, what?
Well,
But yeah,
I'm glad you guys said this because this is one that I had at one point in time considered simply
Mhm.
because it was so highly regarded among
Mhm.
everybody on BGG, and it's
Everybody,
it's not a real expensive game on top of that. So
Mhm.
No.
I'm glad you guys said something because that saved us a lot of frustration. And
Glad we can help.
Yeah. If you want to try it, again, it's still sitting in the other collection. It's sitting in the travel collection. So I will be happy to lend it to you. And you can maybe
Have-
it'll click for you guys.
Have your attorneys ready to go. just in
Exactly.
Sorry to
case.
say, if you guys haven't had any marital strife in a while, we'll be happy to let you borrow it.
yeah,
Right. That's pretty much what it is. Well, at least that's what it was with us. So
Oh, yeah. Okay. So that's my number 2.
All right. My number 2, which I figured this would be, if Cards Against Humanity wasn't a crossover, I figured this would probably be pretty close. My number 2 is Munchkin. And really, I don't have that much really to say about that other than I've played it once and that was more than enough. If I hadn't played it, it still would have been more than enough and it would just be ineligible for this list. I'm sure Munchkin has its fans. I'm pretty sure fingernail torture also has its fans. That doesn't mean it's enjoyable for the torturee. And this analogy is appropriate because this game is very much akin to torture. And I never thought I would say that about a game that has its basis in the classic fantasy D&D genre. It's created by Steve Jackson of Car Wars and GURPS fame. The idea is that you're advancing in levels with a goal to get to level 10 by gathering treasure and killing monsters. All this sounds great at the outset, kind of like a lot of games. Maybe you can even get past the minimalist, cartoony grade school style art too, but then the bribing and the backstabbing and the general lameness start, and you find yourself stuck in a game that sucks so bad that level 10 feels like the slow roast of hell itself. The only way to really enjoy this game is to actually be doing something with noise canceling headphones in another room while other people are playing in this room and leaving you the hell alone. I mean, you actually have to have a really similar group of 13-year-old boy mindsets that delight in playing murder hobos, backstabbing their friends, skewering people with constant take that mechanisms, and enjoy the puerile tongue-in-cheek D&D humor that doesn't even complete one run through the deck. The moment this game hits the table, you will know for sure if you're the target audience, and let's be honest, about 80% of us are not. The game prides itself in being like a dungeon experience, only with all the things that actually make dungeon style RPGs enjoyable sucked right out of it, which I guess in the long run kind of makes it equate to a less expensive, less thinky, and less tactically rich Gloomhaven too, but with murder hobos and with backstabbing. Look, I've blown up RPG groups for less, and I do not want to be reminded of it by a take that card game. Thank you.
Yeah, I think this game for us is like the same place as
Cards Against Humanity.
Cards Against
It's not
Humanity.
really a game.
It's a game we've played and have like put back there like it doesn't
like
exist anymore.
You've like
Yeah.
excised that entire portion of your brain. It's
yes,
like
Yeah.
it's like, you know, pre-algebra. You've
Mhm.
completely killed that entire area and said no.
And it's one.
We've
I
only
mean,
played it
it's
once.
Yeah, we've played it once, and it's a stupid humor kind of a
Right.
game. And Katie doesn't like stupid humor on comedies, stupid comedies.
No,
which I
I don't even
love
like the
those.
stupid comedy movies.
I didn't-
The
I
stupid
mean,
humor movies. I
She
hate
doesn't
them.
like Airplane
Oh,
or
no, oh,
Academy.
Yep.
No,
It's
no,
like,
no.
I love those
I
types
love
of
those
movies.
types of movies, and this game
No,
still
hate them.
sucks.
Yeah, I
Right,
hate
that's what
them.
I'm saying. I love those type of movies, but I'll never play this game again. I
No.
just did not like it. It was just too. I don't want to say stupid because that's a really strong word for this game, but it's yeah.
We're not the target audience. That's
No, we're
that's the
definitely not
nicest
targeted
way to
audience
put
for
it.
this game.
is
I know
not
because
the
it
target
has
audience.
one heck of a following because
Yes,
there's
it
so many
does.
expansions. For
And
this
we've
game,
got
so many versions.
Probably a dozen versions of it in the other room, which I'm gonna totally
It sits in
regret
a
when we
dark
get to the
corner
M's.
that we don't have to look at it. But
Oh, no, but wait till we get to the M's.
maybe we'll sell them before we have to play
There
them.
you
We
go.
might have to.
Although it is a
Motivation.
popular game for that age
It
group
is a.
too. So
We've had
Which
every
age?
time I take one, it comes off the shelf. The
Which
teenagers.
teenage age.
I was gonna
High
say
school.
which age group is it? The 8-year-old age group? Because that's what the humor feels like.
Yeah, no,
It's-
I've had the high schoolers have a
And
good time with it.
It gets people see it a lot because it's at Target, it's
Yeah.
at Walmart,
Mhm.
it's around, so people see it, and people's
Right.
like, oh, well, I've seen this game before. Let's pick it up and play it. But no, I'll never play it again either.
No,
so.
I agree with you. Had I even thought of this, it would have been on my short list.
Yeah,
Didn't even think of it.
I didn't even think about it because I've like put it back there in the back
Yeah.
part of my brain where I don't even think about those things anymore.
So that's my number 2, Munchkin.
Okay, number one.
Number
All right. Number one. I had to really dig deep for my number one game that I could possibly never play again. And it had to be something really well thought out, my magnum opus of this list. After some long and careful thought, I came to this conclusion. Twister. The one game that I would definitely never play again
Mhm.
is the 56-year-old Hasbro party game Twister.
Okay, I have to totally agree with you on this one.
Right foot red, left hand blue. I would lose my balance almost immediately, fall
Mhm.
over like that at in The Empire Strikes Back, possibly taking out any small children or pets nearby. Proving that mama's still got it is just not worth the collateral damage. It's just not going to happen.
Oh,
Ah,
And Twister
Yeah.
is a game. It's a game. They sell
Yeah.
it in the game.
Yes, it
Totally.
is.
And I will never be able to.
Absolutely.
I will never be able to play it.
No.
Nope.
So that was my number one, Twister.
Wow, that didn't even
No.
even come close to being thought about. Wow. Twister. Yeah, I kind
No,
of agree with
no,
her though, but
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm as old as the game.
This wasn't supposed to make you feel anything like that, Greg. I'm sorry.
Yes. Depending on what month the game came out, I could be older than the game.
Oh,
Anyway,
goodness.
okay, so my number one is another game that
Gonna get a
is
hate mail.
loved all over the place, and
Uh-oh.
all I hear is a lot of good things about. It's an Uwe Rosenberg game from Lookout Games of 2007, and that is Agricola.
Okay. No,
Go ahead.
no,
What?
I could get this one. I could get this one.
Okay. Our last play of it, I was so angry with this game because I felt there's way too much going on because you have these cards with jobs on it to get out to help you, have these people you get out and get. But if you start focusing on that, then you don't have the food to feed your people, and then you're going to lose more points, 3 points per person you
Mhm.
don't feed, right?
Something like that. I don't remember.
But yeah, and the
Anyway.
game's not long enough, especially in a 2-player game, to be even worrying about. Now, Caverna, I'll play Caverna anytime you want.
The
It doesn't have
only
the
difference
cards.
between the two is literally the cards.
The cards. I think the cards
So-
just ruin this game, and it just gives you too much to do in such little time. and people are, oh yeah, you get out there and you play this card and that card and you do this. There's no time to do this.
Yeah, well, they've figured it out and we have not.
Mhm.
But
And
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm like going, oh, well, I guess I could do this if I get another person. So maybe I go and over here and build another shelter so I can have another kid and have another person. And then I'm like going, but then I've got to feed more people, which is going to make me focus on getting more food and I won't be able to play with it. Yeah, it's just, yeah.
Life is
The
stressful
card's
enough. You
broken.
don't need a game that reminds you of how overwhelming everything is.
Yes.
Right. But yeah,
Yeah. See, this one never bothered me, but I do prefer Caverna over.
yeah.
a
Now
Agricola.
we
No-
played,
no
to be
doubts.
fair though, we played Caverna before we ever played
Yes. Agricola.
Agricola, but
I like
I
the
just
two-player
don't
version
like
of
the
this.
cards in it.
Yeah.
I think is what really turns me away from this. And
To the point we actually called this one.
yeah,
We sold it.
We had the revised edition of it,
Mhm.
and it was supposed to make it even better, and it made it worse.
Wow.
So yeah, we sold that one, and then the other one that we were actually given as a demo copy, it's over in the other collection for
Yeah.
people who still want to play this game.
Because we
but
don't have Caverna over there. So
I'm not playing it, so I will never play this game again. I don't. Agricola and Oh My Goods could be at a convention, and those are the only games that are there, and you have to play it. I would rather just go home and I don't know, pull my fingernails out. I don't want to play those games ever again.
Yep.
okay, well, I'll remember that because yeah. Oh my goods, I totally agree with you on. But Agricola, I'll play. I don't mind Agricola, but I prefer Caverna, but I don't mind Agricola. My number one is another crossover. My number one is Mice and Mystics for all the same reasons Greg mentioned 3 numbers ago. I love the artwork. I love the components, but the gameplay to me is just repetitive. It's too much luck with the die rolls. There is zero strategy involved.
Every game
Every
in
game
the
played out
scenarios
exactly the
is the exact
same.
same.
The storyline's a little different, but the gameplay is exactly the same
Yeah,
every single
nothing
time.
new is added. It's just
And I just, it got to the point, the first couple games were like, wait, are we doing this right? And then the further we got into it, it was just like, okay, roll the dice. Great. I'm unconscious. I guess I'll just sit here while you try to save me. It just, yeah, no, I will be quite happy if we never play it. In fact, it is probably going to hit the sale pile, be pulled out of the other room and hit the sale pile, just so we don't have to play it when we hit the M's.
Hey,
So,
Motivation.
yeah, and
Right.
you can throw Munchkin in at the same time.
Mhm.
right.
it's an
Right.
M cell.
Yeah, I would still, because you guys do fundraisers and stuff, I would keep,
Yeah.
I'd keep Munchkin, at least,
Yes.
one
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will probably keep a couple. I will get rid of some of the weird variants of that one, but the base game and stuff, yeah, we'll probably have to hold on to. But the Mice and Mystics, I think just because of the way it plays and the fact it is essentially one long storyline broken into episodes, I just don't think it's right for what we do
No.
in
No.
that collection.
No.
I don't think it's going to be, I don't think it's long for that shelf.
No.
I think it's going to end up on the sale pile. But yeah, this is one I will be quite happy if I never play again. That's Mice and Mystics. All right, Mark, finish us off.
All righty. Okay, my number one. And I'm very sorry because this is another one that I've played with you guys.
Uh-oh.
My number one is Cat Lady. So,
Okay.
so-
that's your daughter's.
okay. So you may ask, why is this on my list when I already have Isle of Cats on here? Let me tell you, because
That's
for all the
ridiculous.
hideousness of Isle of Cats, at least it has a spatial puzzle aspect. So if you're either heavily nearsighted or okay with using opaque tape to cover the animal art, you can at least pretend it's like a really crappy third-party expansion for a Feast for Odin or something. Not so with AEG's hideous Take 3 and Set Collect game that makes you collect cutesy cartoony strays and feed them and give them boxes and toys and love them and die a little more inside every time you see it at the table, because deep in your soul that spot could have been easily taken up with tiny epic anything, and it would be a more enriching experience. Instead, you get to watch with dead eyes as everyone mulls whether they'll take the across row with the 2 more cats and a squeak toy or the down row with food and treats. And you know that by the time your turn comes around, there is not a single damn card in that entire deck with strychnine on it, so you can put the crazy old lady out of her misery and let you escape. Even worse than that is, in a group, this game is almost too long to be considered a filler. So you're stuck there with a freaking handful of Fluffy and Cinnamon and their toys and treats, watching your day slip away when that time could be spent being an armored hero or killing creatures or something more enjoyable and fulfilling, like, say, I don't know, doing your income taxes or coming down with appendicitis. And if that wasn't bad enough, A&G has like completely doubled down and created Dog Lover, which is, wait for it, the same damn game, only with stray dogs and expanded rules, which will mean it'll be even longer. And no, even if we own a dog, I'm absolutely not going to get it. I will not play it, and you can quote me on that. It's just another shameless cash grab for people who can't walk by animal games without making little "aw" noises. I've played this game solely because my stepdaughter has a thing for cats and has specifically requested me to play it. And I am choosing to believe that that's her wanting to spend time with me in a group and not just say, closet sadism. But even so, that doesn't mean I ever want to or am ever going to want to play this game. It just means that being a father means sometimes exhaling heavily and accepting your place in line to the guillotine.
I was going to totally offer to buy him Dog Lover for Christmas, but
No.
I guess I won't.
No, that game is that I don't even like. I don't even like the select 3 thing. That's and then you throw cats on it on top of it. No.
Well, they have the version of the same mechanisms in one that takes you back to the 80s called Trapper Keeper. Would that work?
We've already got that for Lyric, and she hasn't played it. She doesn't want to play it.
Oh,
Well,
no.
okay, I've got the Trapper Keeper games. I don't know if it's the one that you're talking about, but either way, I know he wouldn't want to play it.
Okay.
That's actually kind of a cool game.
The
There's
Trapper
actually
Keeper's
a
good,
game
yeah.
in Trapper Keeper.
Yeah, I like that one. So
But yeah, Cat Lady, yeah.
it's cute and I enjoy. I like the game. That being said, I'm not going to buy it because your daughter has it, and we'll just pull her copy out and play it if we want to.
Mhm.
But I do enjoy the game. It's a nice.
It's a
light
set collecting game.
It's a set collection light game.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah. All right.
And that is our 5 things for this month.